There is a pit that leads into a dark cave. In this place, a young man is eating parts of the corpse of a giant monster beast that is restrained with chains. He munches everything possible to his mouth, desperate to survive. He makes a big bite. He chews. At the end, he bars. This young man is Alto, and he declares that he will survive his predicament. There is a well. Days ago, Alto fell from this well. After a long fall, he landed. He could barely move. He tried to crawl. He then realized that his right leg was broken. The pain was so intense that he held his leg in a fetal position. He tried to crawl more. He then gave in, seeing that his situation was just too much. He complained about how he tried so many times to climb up, only to fail. He wondered if the village chief and the others knew about the well. He thought that at least it would be better to just die instead of continuing to be bullied by a young man named Gora. Outside the well is nighttime. Near the well is a giant towering tree filled with gravestones and wrapped in ropes to seal whatever supernatural evil is inside. Gora and his friends are near tree. One of Goro's men is worried that the village will find out that they are currently in a restricted area. Goro insists that they stay until Alto gets back up so he can beat him up more. The others try to convince him that they should leave before the village finds out where they are. Goro accuses the complainant of being a coward. He decides that they are going down the well to get to Alto. He kicks the gravestones near the tree. He keeps on doing it, showing no respect for the seals. One of his friends is worried that they might disturb the monsters said to be in the well. A crow that glows in an eerie red aura flies out of the tree. They fear the meaning of this omen, then multiple of these glowing crows come out to attack them. They run thinking that these crows are monsters. The crows won't stop attacking them. Goro believes that he might have broken the seal. Meanwhile, elsewhere, a young woman worries about Alto. Beneath the well, Alto is already hungry. His left hand touches something. He wonders what it is. He sees a giant youth with spiky teeth and a long tongue. He looks closely. His eyes widen as it finally dawns on him that he is in danger. The monster beast that is wrapped in chains can feel Alto's heartbeat. The monster roars at Alto. It telepathically tells him not to be afraid because they will not harm him. They tell him that the humans attacked them and wrapped them up in chains. Alto grabs a rock. He throws it at the body of the monster to see if it will move again. The monster stays lifeless. Alto thinks that he might have just been imagining that it was alive. 10 days later, Alto observed that the monster is still not moving and thought that it must have died. He believes that he will share the same fate since there is no food or water. He then remembers his childhood friend, May, and imagines her being happy to see him. He remembers that when he was just a little boy, he was constantly getting beat up for being an orphan. Even then, May was the one who took care of his wounds. They grew up happy together. Her name is what he keeps on thinking of. He remembers the woman telling him that she will always be by his side, that they will be together forever. It is as if the fall to the pit is just an obstacle separating him from her. He grabs a rock and tells himself he will not die. He bashes the body of the monster with the rock. Blood starts squirting onto his face. He knows that without him, Mai is in trouble with Gore's men and that he needs to be alive to protect her. As he eats from the meat of the monster, he declares that he will survive, that Gore will not have his way. After a while, he became used to the taste. Alto then feels pain within him. He screams as a dark aura envelopes him. His body mutilates. He gets overwhelmed by the power wrapping itself around his body. It's like as eating him whole. Smoke fills the pit. It is revealed that he transformed to have demon-like features of armor-like black skin in some parts of his body and black horns on his head. He looks up to the light from the surface. He jumps towards it. He reaches the top. Like it was an easy leap, he steps on the surface ground for the first time. His body then transforms back to human form, and he is glad to be alive. He can still feel the monster within him and cannot believe he is not dreaming. He wonders if it was because he ate from the monster's body. He asks himself if he has become a monster himself. What he does not know is that there is a man who saw his demon form from the trees. This old man thinks Alto is a monster. He hurries to tell the village chief as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Alto is walking when a butterfly suddenly comes out as he tries to reason that he must have swallowed something before. He suddenly grows giant butterfly wings on his back. It flaps, sending him to the air without his control. He grabs onto a nearby tree to stop himself. He waits. Eventually, the wings disappear, and he is left exhausted while lying on the ground. Hundreds of years ago, the humans and monsters lived together in war. Humans with powerful abilities appeared one day to disrupt the balance between species. These beings killed many monsters and drove them outside human territory. The most powerful of these monsters, known as the Majiri, were sealed away. The secret organization of warriors known as the Cogno sealed away one of the most powerful Majiri. After which, these warriors hid themselves. Humanity gained hundreds of years of peace due to their actions, yet the monster never truly disappeared. At present at Moro's village, Mai stands patiently waiting for Alto to return. He worries since it has already been days since he disappeared. She urges the village chief to send people to search for him. The chief tells her that there was nothing they could do. She leaves the chief's office disappointed. May looks behind her. He sees that Alto has returned and looks both dirty and exhausted. The girl rushes towards him. She embraces him and tells him she feels relieved he is alive. The guy feels guilty that he made May worried. He tells her he has a surprise. He shows that he brought a rabbit with him. May suddenly screams for Alto to watch out. The man looks back, alert. He suddenly gets caught in a net and gets raised up. Gora and his team appear to see if they have caught him. Gora sarcastically comments that he is glad to see Alto. He praises him for being brave enough to return to his girl. Mai pleads with him to let Alto go. The bully asks her why he likes Alto so much when he is just an orphan. He forces her against his body and demands that she come with him instead. Lido is getting angry that his eyes turn red. He turns into his demonic form and frees himself from the net. He feels so much rage that he does not care anymore if everyone finds out about his new form. Gora's men get scared. They run, leaving Gora and Mai behind. Alto dashes towards Gora at lightning speed. He reaches the bully in an instant. He pins him to the ground and makes his armor blade to plan and stab him. The crying Gora begs for mercy. Alto laughs at how he pleads for his life when he did nothing but torment him. Mai tells Alto to stop it. The man realizes what he looks like in front of Alto, gets off Gora, then he transforms back to his human form. Gora stands back up, then he runs away. Alto tries to talk to Mai. However, the man can't find the words. He tells her that he just wants to be with her, but the woman rejects him. Alto becomes sad. He leaves her feeling sorry for himself because the girl of his dreams sees him as a monster. People with pitchforks and spears appear. They rush to get to Alto just as he is about to leave. Some of these people restrain. May the village chief led the charge. He tells the young man that they can't let him leave since he is now a monster. They point their weapons at Alto. Alto grips his hand. He asks the villagers in fury if they are planning to imprison him like the monster he found in the well. The chief tells him that the monster he saw restricted area was a Mayo known as Kamiku. He says that as the Cogno group, it is their responsibility to seal away monsters like him. Alto turns into his demon transformation, ready to fight for the injustice of being imprisoned when he did nothing wrong. Macrae seeing him so troubled, the chief continues to order his men to capture him. Armored guards appear. They unveil the sealing sword, a giant metallic stake with chains wrapped around it. A sound can be heard from the woods. One villager gets alerted by it. They see that multiple giant monsters of differing appearances come into their village. They become chaotic as they run away. Many become eaten by them. The villagers know that minions only appear once Kamiku is resurrected, so they realize that Alto has become the Mayor. One old man is about to be eaten by a monster. Alto comes to his aid. He slices the monster's head off with an energy sword. The old man is shocked by his actions. Alto then goes on to kill multiple minions. As he finishes his combo, he makes a fighting stance to prepare for his next move. Mai sees that there are so many people lying on the ground. Unbeknownst to her, something is behind her. She sees that a giant wolf monster is about to get its jaws on her. Alto kills it before it can. He then shields the girl away from the monster. The man tells her that he will protect her no matter what. The old man Alto rescued before is starting to see that he still is human. He is frozen at the thought that they be wrong about him. The chief snaps him out of it. They stand together with their swords to fight the monsters. The chief tells the man to evacuate the villagers while he covers for them. The old man tells some of the guards to come with him. Meanwhile, the chief orders the rest to stay with him to support those evacuating. He rallies the troops to charge towards the minions. Meanwhile, Alto asks May to come with him. He feels guilty that he will escape with May while the others are still fighting. A giant octopus monster bigger than the rest comes into the field. The village guards get overwhelmed by its tentacles. Some of the tentacles penetrate through the men's bodies. The chief orders them to stop the octopus by any means necessary. Some tentacles draw near the chief. It turns out the chief saw the tentacles coming and sliced them up with his sword before they could get to him. He misses one of them. It penetrates from his back through his chest. The villagers can tell that it is over for them. Alto rushes to the octopus monster. He is so fast that the guards do not see him come through them. He battles the monster head-on. He collects his speed. His dash destroys many of its tentacles. The impact of his attack is so strong that there is a huge explosion. Blood rains over Alto. The octopus falls and the chief survives. May calls for Alto. The guards are confused as to why the man they called a monster saved them. The chief asks him why he did it. Alto denies that he did it for them and tells them that he was merely protecting May still. The old man tries to evacuate everyone before more monsters come. Alto asks that Mai come with him. The villagers continue their retreat. One child trips while he walks. He lies on the ground crying. Mai rushes towards the boy to help him. As she helps him up, a new monster approaches her. Mai realizes what's behind her. She gets injured by the flying monster. Alto sees her fall. He feels helpless. The helpless feeling turns to anger. His body glows with energy in his fury. The woman lies on the ground, almost at death's door. Alto destroys the monster at quick speed. He then runs towards Mai. He holds her as he pleads for her not to leave him. The woman says she is not long. She touches his face with warmth. She then apologizes for not being able to accept him before. As they hold hands, Mai tells him he can't stay by his side after all. Then her eyes close. The man screams Mai's name in agony. The pain is overwhelming. Powerful energy comes out of him as he screams. The people are starting to worry for their safety against him. Alto looks towards the guards. One guard fears him. He suddenly feels pain. It turns out, Alto already has a hold on his throat and is gripping him. The chief asks for him to stop. The chief tries to convince Alto to stop strangling the man since Mai would not want him to do so. Alto listens as he continues to strangle the man. He puts him down, finally letting him breathe as he lies on the ground. The chief reason that they tried to capture Alto was because they thought he had lost his humanity. Alto carries Mai's body in his arms. He apologizes that he was not able to protect her. He tells the chief not to worry since he is not planning to get revenge. The chief wants to tell him everything he knows. He explains that all monsters originated from one powerful source he calls the progenitor, and the next in hierarchy are the Majiri who can summon minion. In the past, heroes worked together to defeat and seal many of these beings. There were 16 Majiri sealed by the Cogno, and that Kamiku, the 8th-ranked Majiri, had the ability to absorb the power of those it consumed. He explains that since their ancestors were unable to destroy Kamiku, they sealed it in the well instead, and that the bloodline descendants of the Cogno guarded the well ever since. Eventually, Moro's village formed. The chief apologizes for treating Alta badly and promises that no villager will try to seal him away. He, however, warns him that other organizations will still hunt him down. He says that he has the choice to walk the path alone and sever himself from humanity. Alta thanks him for the advice, but says he chooses the path of being a human to keep his promise to Mai. The chief asks to hear him out before he leaves. He tells him that there is a way for him to be human again. A time later, Alto stands near Mai's grave and talks to her about how he was bullied by Gore since he was little. He tells her that he still looks forward to tomorrow because of her. He then transforms into his demon form and treks the woods to find his way back to being human. He tells Mai that the books of the village informed him of a way to do it, but the details have been lost in time. Now he heads southeast where the Cogno resides to search for clues. He wants to be careful so that the Cogno will not find out what he is and kill him. Elsewhere in the woods, a flock of birds flies away from the trees. A slime-like monster with a black humanoid appearance runs through the forest. A warrior nears it with swords. The monster sees him. The man manages to strike the creature. The impact makes it fly and slide across the ground. The creature gets back up. The team of warriors prepares to attack. Sound. The people are in so much pain that they hold on to their ears. A portal opens up near the monster, giving it an opportunity to escape. It is about to disappear through it. The leader of the team, Captain Tyrannus, appears and uses his spiritual power to summon red strings of light. The others are released to see their captain in action. Tyrion concentrates on binding the creature. He forms his restraints. He then projects these strings towards the monster. It attaches itself to the creature. The monster gets lifted up by the strings before it can come in the portal. However, the monster still slowly enters. Tyrannus is shocked that it is still managing. It successfully enters, then the portal disappears. Tyrannus becomes silent. His companion, Indu, is equally disappointed. The men realize how great escaping the monster was, considering it even evaded their captain. Tyrion tells his men not to be discouraged. He says that while the monster named Koku escaped, he was still wounded and that they need to focus on finding out how the portal opened. Tyrion reminds his team that his crimson rope sense the presence of monsters and that they should use them to scout for any minion. He orders his 3 commanders, Indu, Shiwal, and Burger, to captain their own teams in hunting down the minions. Indu wants to ask something. Tyrion encourages him to speak up. Indu wonders what he will do. Tyrion tells him that he will go back to the city of Neoin's castle with his own personal mission. We see Neoin's castle, a city built with bricks, and it looks more modern than Alto's village. Alto is walking around the city looking for Tyrion's squads to join them since it is a prominent force in the Cogno. He encounters people walking by, talking about how peaceful the city is because of Tyrion's squad. One of them comments on how Tyrion is the strongest. Hearing the claim makes Alto want to look into Cogno more. Everywhere he goes, people can't stop praising Tyrion for his leadership and might. It makes Alto worry if the beloved captain has the ability to know who he truly is. One passerby sees Alto walking by and calls him out for being a country bumpkin. He tries to ignore the bully, but the man shoves him. The bully tells him that someone like him does not belong in the dignified city of Neoin's castle. Some see what's happening and tell the bully to cut it out. The bully tells them to stay out his way. While the bully and those who are intervening are busy talking things over, Alto leaves. The helpers see him leave and try to forget about what just happened. Meanwhile, Alto heads to a dark alley. He is hungry, and he worries that this means he will lose control and start rampaging. He tries to calm himself down before deciding to head back in the open. On top of him is a little boy tied up on a web and being stalked by a giant monster spider. The boy who sees him screams for help. Alto finally notices him. The spider draws nearer to the boy. Alto jumps up. He uses his knee to attack the spider. He grabs the boy. He lands on the ground while carrying him in his arms. He sees that the boy fainted from the fear. He asks himself why there is a monster in the middle of the city. His focus shifts to the boy's scent. He is transforming slowly into his more demonic form as he realizes he can no longer control his hunger. Meanwhile, Tyrion stops a boy from entering the dark alley. The boy is glad to see that the famous captain has approached him. Tyrion asks why he was about to enter the alley. The boy points at the strange smoke coming from it. Tyrion tells him to stay far away from the alley while he investigates. The boy tries to leave. He stops midway to ask if this is part of Tyrion's mission. The captain entertains him and tells him that it is a top secret one that he should not report to anyone. The boy proudly salutes and says he will stay quiet. Tyrion wears a cloth over his mouth, then he enters the smoky alley. Later, sunlight enters a window from a room. It is revealed that Alto is sleeping on a bed, being taken care of by a family consisting of a mother, a father, and a son. Alto wakes up. The family sees this and readies to call someone named Mina. Alto assures them that while he feels dazzled, he is feeling fine. The door opens. The father returns with Mina. Mina is revealed to be a stern-looking woman with violet hair and glasses. She wants to get closer to Alto to know more about his condition, but the man wants to ask what's going on first. Mina tells Alto that he collapsed from poisonous spores after helping the child of the family in the alleyway, but that Tyrus found him. The mother tells him that he was the last one who woke up from those affected by the spores and that she is glad to see him okay. Mana asks to check up on him. She looks closely at his pupils and sees that there are no issues in his eyes. She touches his wrist and observes there are no abnormalities with his pulse. She smacks his back and sees that his breathing is fine. Mina then takes off his blanket. Alto realizes she is getting too personal and blushes as he demands she stop. Mina says she was just trying to help but stops. Tyrius comes in asking about Alto. He tells Mana to give him and Alto privacy as they talk. Alto becomes tense now that he is in front of the famous captain. Mana and the child look away while the two get ready to talk. Tyrius grabs a seat. He tells Alto not to be nervous and relax. Alto asks what he needs from him, worried he is suspicious of his true identity. Tyrius asks if he saw any monsters in the scene. Alto answers that he didn't. Tyrius worries since there should not be any monsters in the city. If there was one in the alley, he fears that someone called it to be there. Alto feels relief that the man did not see anything. Tyrius asks again if he saw a monster. He replies that he only saw the child being attacked, but could not put a finger on what. Alto looks at Tyrius's reaction if he is suspicious. The captain tells him that he needs to get going since the selection test for his squad is about to begin. Alto is interested in entering the selection test. Tyrion advises him to reconsider entering. Alto asks why. The captain answers that he is not suited for the job. He reveals that he knows that he is from Moro's village and that people from there were not strong enough to defeat a relatively weak monster. Alto sees that he still does not know that Kamiku is dead. Tyrius encourages him to return to his hometown instead of applying for his squad. Alto thinks about it. It reminds him that he can't return because there is no place for a monster like him there. It makes him determined to join the squad since it will give him more chances to find out how to be a human again. Later, the selection venue is revealed to be a large arena. The place crowded with those who want to join the quad with many looking tough. Alto feels overwhelmed by how many people want to join. He bumps into someone walking by. It turns out to be a woman with green hair. The woman looks at him with cold eyes as if she is looking down on him. Tyrion goes to the stage to introduce himself and explain the rules of the selection test. He tells them that the rules will be simple. He says that they must get into a battle royal until only 200 of them pass. He activates a torch. It turns into fireworks that signal the start of the test. He declares that the test has begun. The candidates immediately start beating each other up. Alto worries about the danger of the environment. The candidate sees the girl with green hair. They ask that she team up with them so they can protect her. The girl, Leon, does not respond. She reveals her spear and asks them why she needs to be protected by people weaker than them. She starts attacking them and they are defenseless against her. One candidate named Kiraz observes everyone and comments on how chaotic everything is as if he is above it all. Someone sees him and thinks he looks weak since he is so small. Kiraz gets angry that he is being called little. He wrings out his crossbow and goes crazy by shooting everyone with arrows. Someone comes behind Alto to challenge him. The man is a muscular guy who tells him he has no place in the selection. The man makes a fighting stance despite Alto's insistence not to fight. The muscular man rushes towards him. Alto looks annoyed by him. He kicks the man like he is nothing. The muscular man's followers are shocked. They see their mentor foaming at the mouth while he lies on the ground. Alto tells the others to come at him at once if they want to take him down, that it would be a waste of time if they did not do that. It makes the others scared to face him. They see someone behind Alto. This mysterious man gets Alto's attention. He is revealed to be a giant of a man who looks so tough, he has the presence of a bronze statue. Alto tells him to attack. It turns out the man does not want to and tells him good luck with his enemies. Kurs observes Alto and is impressed by him. Kurs looks so beat up that his friend tells him to quit acting all high and mighty. Meanwhile, Alto is glad to see that he is stronger than most even in his human form. The selection test ends a few hours later. Tyrion welcomes everyone who passed. He declares the test over. Among those who passed is Alto. He wonders why the village chief back in his home told him that the squads in Neowine's castle are tough. After going through the test, he feels like things went by too easily. Tyrion orders everyone to form groups of 10. He warns them that their team's combined strength will be the determining factor in survival against monsters. He also warns those who lack the ability to leave. Kurs introduces himself to Alto. He asks that they team up. He reveals that he already teamed up with Leon and other strong-looking people. Alto thinks about how he might get exposed if he teams up with skilled individuals like them, but that it will also be the easiest way to succeed. He agrees to team up with them and shakes Kira's hand. Kira becomes edited now that they are complete and now focuses on what they should name their group. He goes into multiple names that make them sound strong and unbeatable. Mina sneaks up on Kira's. She tells the team that she is their supervisor and that she will show them to their dormitory and give a brief introduction to their organization. She leads them to their new dorm. Maina explains that while Tyria's squad resides at Neowine's castle, they also protect the other cities. She says that they will join in with their mission to hunt and kill monsters soon. However, they won't have any missions for a while, making the group feel impatient. Mina thinks about something important. She advises them to value their abilities to survive above all. She shows them to their dorm and makes her leave. The team talks among themselves. Alto shares his theory that Mina's warning to value survival has some sort of hidden meaning. Lan thinks that they might just be overthinking it. Another girl member shares her suspicions that the test is not over yet. She believes that the dormitory might be a trap. It makes Alto and Leon alert. The girl who shares this theory feels scared to enter. Alto thinks they still need to enter. He tells the team as he enters that they need to move forward. Lan reports that there are no issues on the second floor. Alto shares that there is nothing odd in the first floor and garden area either. Kurs reports that he used a magical tool to scout the place and found nothing strange. They are starting to think that they might be overthinking things. Alto still believes that something is up. One girl asks what they should do now. Alto, Leon, and Curious reply that they should wait. We see the main headquarters of the Cogno. Mina and Tyrius are in the tallest tower on it. Mina voices her concern of letting the new recruits fight monsters even if they are merely illusions. Tyrius justifies that it would be better than encountering real monsters and losing their lives. Mina also questions Tyrius's decision of loosening the selection standards and asks what the higher-ups will think of this. The captain materializes a floating gem over his hand. He tells her that he does not care about what the higher-ups will say, that he will take full responsibility. With Tyrion's magic, the headquarters and its surrounding areas become surrounded by a magical glow. The onlookers get confused and scared. Meanwhile, a mysterious figure is stalking the headquarters and he feels proud that Tyrion has not detected him yet. This man promises to give the new recruits more than just illusions. He is revealed to be a man with long hair in a regal outfit and he surrounds himself with a red aura to activate his spell. Somehow, Alto returns to his house in his home village. He is sleeping in his bed while worried Mai wonders when he will wake up. The man looks peaceful as he sleeps. Mai tells a middle-aged man that this is his fault for ordering Alto to gather herbs from a dangerous area. Alto wakes up and sees Mai. The girl is relieved to see him okay. She reports that he fell asleep for 3 days after falling off a cliff. Alto tells Mai in sadness that she is supposed to be dead. Mai thinks he is acting weird because of the head injury and asks the middle-aged man for a doctor to examine him. Alto pleads with her to listen to him. A few minutes later, Mai tells him that the middle-aged man took them in. The middle-aged man feels hurt that he does not remember him since they were a family for 10 years. Mai asks Alto if he is okay aside from his memory. Alto looks at Mai knowing full well that she is supposed to be dead and that he is supposed to be with his new team now. He transforms his finger into a monster form and confirms that this is true. May suggests that they go for a walk to help all to remember their days together. As they leave, the middle-aged man cries since he feels left out. May shows Ol to the tree where he felt when he was 5. She shows the spot where she tripped over and how he filled it in for her. She tells him that every summer night, their grandpa forces them to go for a walk with him and that he always gets frustrated in the process. Alto keeps thinking that this illusion must be part of the selection test. He sees something in the distance. He sees Gora with a little boy. He thinks that Gora is still the same unpleasant man he remembered. It turns out the man he knew as a bully is offering to fix the little boy's stuffed animal. Alto thinks Gora must have hit his head to be so kind, making my comment that he has always been a good boy. The environment suddenly turns dark before Alto. They are in a void, yet Mai does not seem to notice since she is still talking about the village. Hands form from the liquid-like floor and reach out to Alto. The man is confused about what is going on. A chair suddenly appears under him to force him to sit. A dining table appears in front of him, filled with food, and May is at the other end of the table. Alto finds the food creepy since their village was too poor to serve such expensive-looking delicacies. Villagers appear, all strangely wearing luxurious clothes. A man with creepy eyes asks Alto why he is not smiling. Hands from the ground surround Alto and try to grab him while in his dazed state. This dazed and confused Alto answers that he is happy. Meanwhile, in the real world, birds are dead in the dormitory, giving a sign that something ominous and awful is going on. A monster with a vine-like purple body is growing within the dorm halls as if it's a rapidly growing dead tree. Its tendrils are everywhere. A hand escapes from its grasp. It is revealed to be Leon struggling to get out. She manages to escape and falls to the ground. She comments that their test appears to be too intense and that some of their teammates are already dead. He looks at all her teammates being intertwined between its vines and thinks that it is like she is in a nightmare. She sees Alto from one of its vines. She unsheathes her blade. She throws it, breaking the vine and tying up the sleeping Alto. He falls to the ground as a result. Leon goes to him. She decides to first free everybody before planning ahead. She unties Alto. He looks so lifeless that she wonders if he already kicked the bucket. He slaps him to make sure. Frustrated, she yells at him to wake up. She hears something from behind her. She looks behind. She sees that the others still trapped by the vines are already sucked dry to become mummies. The monster is growing from the energy it is sucking from its victims. It forms its face and arms. She sees that the victims' bodies are already being sucked into the vines, making them bigger. Kiraz appears and tells Leon that the monster's name is Shana. He suggests that for now, they run instead of worrying about how it appeared in their dorm. More vines move. It ties up Kiraz. Len tries to catch up to him, but the vines are already wrapping themselves around her. The more they struggle, the more the vines tighten their grip on them. Meanwhile, Alto is still in the dream world where May accuses him of not trusting her. She pleads for him to feel comfort in being with her. She removes her coat, then she wraps herself around Alto to seduce him. This angers Alto, who transforms into his more demonic self. He scratches her, now fully convinced she is not his beloved. The woman screams. Her severed right arm is now on the floor. The woman tells him that he will regret what he just did. She transforms into a monster with sharp teeth and even more sharp teeth at the mouth of her chest. Still, she becomes scared. Alto has no hesitation to attack her despite her scary new appearance. She pleads for her life. Alto finishes her off, breaking the dream world. In the real world, his body is being consumed by the monster vines along with Leon's and Curi's. Curi's can barely stand the squeeze of the vines on his body. The side of his eyes is about to blacken. Vaguely, he sees Alto's body disappear from its restraints. His eyes become fully closed in darkness. He suddenly opens his eyes and sees that Alto in his demonic form is getting closer to him. The vines drop Kiraz and Leon. Alto is trying to catch them before they fall. He lands them on the ground. Kiraz thanks him for saving them. Alto tells them that there is no need to thank him. It finally dawns on them that he looks like a demon, shocking the two. They call his form a process of being demonized. It dawns on Alto that he has been found out. Kiraz panics that he is about to get eaten by him. Alto tells them that he is not like that. It confuses the two that he still has the intelligence to talk. Alto readies to fight them. He comes to think that his village chief must have been right about how he will never be accepted. The two are on alert around him. Kiraz approaches him. Subverting expectations, he hugs his knee and thinks he is cool in his demonized form. Lan looks at Kiraz with shame and embarrassment. Alto is confused as to why they are not terrified of him. Leon says it is not relevant to her that he became a monster as long as he retains his human consciousness. Kiraz agrees and continues to hug his knee. Alto can't comprehend how they are not trying to kill him right now, like what the village chief predicted if he were discovered. Tells him that his village chief has a point. Many who were demonized in the past were known to be power-hungry fools who wreaked havoc on humanity. It resulted in the killings of those who were demonized. Since his chief only wanted to seal him away, Carries thinks he was more civilized than others who would have killed him instead. However, Carries wants something from Alto in exchange for keeping his secret. He tells him that he wants him to hunt down a demon slayer for him. He names him the Death Knight Erden, a wraith-like figure with a black horse with glowing green eyes. Alto agrees with his condition, believing it would be an easy hunt. Alto then asks Leon what her condition is to keep his secret. The girl says that she has none. She only says that she will end him if he ever loses his human reasoning. Alto replies that he agrees with her terms. Kurz recognizes Leon as a member of the Kryzai. Alto asks what Kryzai is. Kurz explains that it is a city in the northern tip known for its advanced technology and high crime rate. Many citizens there modify their bodies with robotic parts. Leon explains that body modifications are not relevant to her as long as the person is still themselves. Leon wants their talk to be over since they still need to deal with a monster, Shana. They wonder what they need to do to defeat it. The trio hears people coming. They see that official members of the Tyria squad have come to rescue them. Karis is glad to see that help has arrived. The official members ask the trio to head for safety while they take care of the monster. Karis thinks that they look capable and badass. Alto decides that they should follow their instructions. They do not realize that the official members are already caught in the vines while the trio walks away. Behind the trio, the vine monster grows bigger from its new victims. One of the vines slams one victim to the wall. The trio finally notices what is going on. Alto, Leon, and Karez are frustrated that the monster is unstoppable and getting bigger. The official members have now turned into mummies. Shana roars at them. They can tell that the enemy is getting stronger and stronger. Karez is already losing hope of survival. He can't see that there is any way to escape. Leon tells him to pull himself together. Vines come to strike Karez. Alto grabs it before it reaches him. He slices the vine with his bare hand. Alto is still determined to defeat the monster. Leon says she will join him. Both of them run towards the monster. Kairos does not know where their bravery is coming from. He feels like their bravery is in vain since they will all die anyway. He stands up, feeling motivated to do something about their situation. Elsewhere, other official members of the Tyria squad can see Shauna's main core. Maina is trying to figure out how to stop the monster. She orders her men to attack the main core since it is the weak point. The core senses them. It orders its vines towards them, but Maina materializes a magic barrier to protect them. One of Mina's men thinks she is killing herself by using magic that is outside her healer specialty. Mina does not care and continues her barrier. She jumps to the top of one of Shana's vines. The monster senses her. Mina's men fend off the vines with their weapons. They tell each other to watch out. A vine strikes one of them. It ties him up, then it suddenly leaves him alone. He wonders why it suddenly stops attacking him. They realize that Maina must be trying to seal the monster's core, temporarily suspending its movements. Energy orbs appear in the air. Alto, Leon, and Kuriz recognize that if Shana absorbs the energy orbs, it will be too powerful for Maina to seal. Kuriz directs his two teammates in the directions of the orbs. They are able to make many orbs disappear with Leon's magic yellow strings impressing many onlookers. Kuriz sees the onlookers. He requests that they help take down as many orbs as they can. These men become motivated to fight. They take out as many orbs as they can with their weapons. They manage to stop the monster and they attribute it to Mana stopping the core. Mana feels uneasy since the monster was taken down rather quickly. Shana suddenly releases giant energy from its core. However, the men are not deterred. They feel like they can hold out until Tyrion's returns. One man is being neared by a vine behind him. His head suddenly pops off from the striking strength of the vine. Shana has become active again. Leon, Alto, and Kiraz are shocked to see the monster still strong. Its face and arms are coming for the trio. It comes for Alto first. One of its arms penetrates Alto's stomach. Kiraz and Leon worry for him. Alto feels the pain of his wound. However, he holds onto the arm, making Shana trapped near the man. Mina is near the monster's core and worries that if it breaks her seal, it will go on a rampage. She wants her men to hold the line while she goes to the new recruits and rescues them. The men insist they wait for Tyrion, but she still goes on her own since there's no time. Meanwhile, Alto is still stabbed by Shana's arm, and he is locking the arm to trap the monster near him. He demands that the monster not come any closer. Alto tells Leon and Kiris to leave Shana to him while they destroy more energy orbs. Alto pulls the monster's arm. This leads to the monster's face being within reach, giving him the opportunity to kick it. Shana retaliates by gripping his head. The monster rotates its body. It throws Alto across the room. He gets smashed to the ground. However, a hint of his determined eyes can be seen within the smoke. He flies fast towards the monster, attacking it at quick speed. He slices off the vine that connects Shana's head and arms to its other parts. Leon and Kiraz watch the fight and are impressed by their teammate. Shana's top part still grows strong despite being detached from its body. Leiyun and Kira's recognize that the monster absorbs so much energy that it can heal the parts that are damaged. Maina appears to the two and tells them to get out of the area. She warns them that monsters of Shana's level are beyond their capabilities. A vine suddenly tries to strike her. Alto, in his demonic form, attacks it before it reaches Maina. She asks if Alto is an enemy or an ally. Before he can answer, he already dashes towards Shana. Maina worries when their captain will come to rescue them. Otto continues to fight the head portion of the monster. He crushes its head. This leads to it falling on the ground. It revives to face Alto again. He punches it, then he punches it again. Karas and Leon watch the fight with hope. However, Mina can sense that the monster is not getting any weaker. Despite this, Shana's head is already detached from its body. Alto worries that he has turned hungry from the fight and might lose control. Still, the headless body moves. Snake-like vines grow from where the head used to be. These snakes form into a new green head, and it keeps saying that it is hurt. Maina analyzes that Shana has eaten too many souls that are trying to burst out of the monster. Alto smiles. His mouth waters. He is excited for the opportunity to feast on the monster. Shana challenges him to devour its body. Alto dashes towards its face. The man's face nears it. Alto put both hands on the monster's new head. He then pulls it off its neck. As he crushes the monster's face, it tells him to run away. He looks at the monster's head with hunger. He then takes a bite. Other faces appear on the body, all feeling the pain of being eaten as if they are connected. The headless part of Shana still stands. Meanwhile, Tyrius appears on the scene. He is determined to end the situation. Tyrius is about to get to Alto while the demon-formed person is going after Shana. Alto sees him coming. He tries to attack the blonde captain, but Tyrius blocks his strike with his sword. Alto cannot get near him due to the captain's skill with the blade. He grips the blade. Alto is screaming like an animal that is out of control. He gained enough strength to break his sword. Tyrion's readies to strike Alto. It connects, the force of which leads Alto to slam across the room and into a wall behind him. Meanwhile, Shana is trying to escape while the two are fighting. He opens a portal for the monster to get in. Strings made of light suddenly attach themselves to the monster. It turns out that Tyrion is pulling Shana up with his crimson strings. It gives the captain a chance to near the monster. He ties the monster up so that it cannot escape. He orders his strings to tighten up so it can squeeze the creature. Sean's multiple faces scream and struggle. Its body explodes from the grip. It separates the faces into individuals that crawl away in their own direction. They scatter off in multiple paths. The one true Shana is smiling at the thought that the captain does not know that the other parts of him that are trying to escape on their own are just illusions. The real him is suddenly stopped by Tyrion's foot. The captain grabs him and he tells him he knows about his little trick. He squeezes the monster until it explodes. The remnants of the creature separate into droplets that hit the ground. Tyrion then puts his focus on Alto. It turns out that he has tied up Alto with his strings. The demon man is still without his wits and is roaring like a beast. Tyrion can see how wild he is looking. The captain activates a spell that puts Alto in a blue orb of light. Alto levitates in the orb. He looks at the captain with contempt while in his restraints. Later on, a sleeping Alto is dragged by the medical staff to let him rest. Alto can tell that Mina and Tyrion have been talking about how to deal with him as a demonized man. A few days later, Alto wakes up with Kiras and Leon watching over him. He then realizes that both Tyrius and Mina are also in the room. Mina tells the others to stop crowding the weak man. Alto asks if they will hide his identity so they can use his demonized form against the monsters. Tyrius confirms his suspicions. This leads Alto to think deeply about his options. He replies that he has certain conditions. Tyrius is all ears. He demands that in exchange for being their demon blade, they must find a way to turn him back into a human. Tyrius takes in what he is saying. He lets the demon man know about the place called Abyssal Grounds. Alto is intrigued. Tyrion explains that the Abyssal Grounds is where the rarest books are sealed and that it even has information about turning monsters into humans. Many monsters have tried to get into the grounds, but none of them returned. Alto asks him if there is a way inside. Tyrius warns that he will lose his humanity before he can reach the grounds. Alto asserts that he will go no matter what. Tyrius worries that he may have false hope. The captain threatens to kill him if he ever becomes a true monster. Alto is glad to hear it and starts asking when they can start hunting monsters and go to the Abyssal Grounds. Tyrion sees how impatient he is and tells him he will start training as soon as he recovers. He informs him that he will ask the council elders for access to the Abyssal Grounds. Tyrius says his time is up and that he needs to leave. He tells Alto to rest. Before he leaves, Alto asks him what happened to those who witnessed him becoming demonized. Tyrius chooses his words carefully. He regrets to inform him that they were all killed by the monster Shana. Alto gets saddened to hear it. The next day, Alto tries to stand. His knees then hit the ground. He still feels the pain. Karas and Leon and come in his room to see him. They see him squatting on the ground and can tell that he is still not in full health. Leon tries to get near him. Karas is opposed to it and tells the girl not to touch him. A golden light suddenly comes out of Alto's chest. Out of the light appears a small creature. Karas recognizes the cute creature as a Sophie Sprout. Alto is confused how the creature came out of him. Karas explains that when Shana died, it must have left a spawn in the first host it found. He lets him know that the baby is harmless and would be a great companion. Karas is excited since a Sophie Sprout is worth a fortune. The Sprout sees Karas' hand getting near them. The creature then jumps off of Alto's hand. It then runs away. Karas panics that the very expensive creature is running away. He chases after it. Both Alto and Leon look at their friend with shame. A few days later, Alto joins Leon and Karas in mountain training. They do mountain climbing, hiking, and other hard tasks. Over time, Alto realizes that the training is not just for them to be physically stronger, but also for them to sync as a team. A few days later, the trio's trainee in the mountains ends. In front of them is trios. However, they realize that the trios that were supposed to greet them is just a cardboard standee. They are confused about what is happening. Mina then comes out from behind the standee and tells them that it was a prank. The three do not find it funny and are looking at her with disappointed faces. Mina tells them to relax. She opens a giant gate and tells them that their real training is about to begin. Inside is a realm filled with weapons. She tells them that today's lesson is for them to find their destined weapon. The trio are amazed at the gateway of weapons. They take time to look at the army. Mina begins to explain. She informs them that a weapon's strength is determined by the strength, technique, and magic power of the user. As she grabs a floating sword, she tells their grand history of how they have discovered how to imbue weapons with power. She says that they will not only learn how to slay monsters with them, but also how to seal them away. She then explains that even a child can unleash unmatched power as long as they choose the perfect weapon for them. Some weapons can even grow to have awareness and bond with the user's heart. She explains that every weapon in the army is the finest of its kind and that each one has awareness. She proudly tells them to choose their weapon, to choose their destiny. The selection process continued and various tools floated around. As Karas reached out, calling his destined equipment towards him, he opened his mouth in surprise. A huge and heavy item sped in his direction, hitting him in the face. Although he sent tumbling back, he fortunately wasn't injured from the impact. Manu says the barrel is the most distinctive item in the army and the only unique weapon. It can be used as a weapon and everyday gear and can boost an invention's success rate. The young man carried it with a smile, happy with the new equipment. Drawing on his success, the remaining two are told to close their eyes. As they give it a try, following orders, the two focus hard, allowing their aura to flow out. Doing well, they are encouraged to breathe deep and keep going. With this, the swords on the ground began to move and floated in the air. They remained calm, silently calling the destined weapon to them. Finally, a sword approached Leon, appearing in a swirl of golden energy. The hilt automatically made its way to her hand, and they blazed with power, establishing the bond between weapon and master. Giving it a few swings, she seems to be satisfied enough as it's easy to use and way more powerful than other swords. While Mina commended her, approving the choice as well, Alto continued to focus, certain that he sensed something earlier, but couldn't find it again. He calls on his weapon to appear quickly. And as he willed it to happen, the blade surrounded and turned around him. The sensation is so intense and fast that Karas barely dodges a speeding sword. The tornado of tempered steel spun fast around him, resembling of Tyria's flare back in the day. Just then, Alto froze as he felt something different. He reached out for a sword, his hand slowly inching toward the handle. However, when he was just about to grip it, the blades fell to the ground, all returning to their dull and minimal forms. They all looked in confusion, and even the captain had no idea what just happened. With this, he closes his eyes to try again. Once more, the swords on the ground began to tremble. They float into the air and around the void. Things seem different, and the others wonder if it will work out this time. Just then, the equipment was sucked into the void portal. While the new recruits didn't know what was happening, Mina grew excited as the only one comprehending the sight. As Alto already possesses energy of the abyss, the weapon spirit wants to recognize its master. Since a new power surged throughout his body, it's bound to clash with the abyss already in him. The beings clashed inside his body, causing a deep internal battle. The others are stopped from coming close and told that their comrade will reap great rewards if he gets over the trial. Inside, the weapon spirit and Kamiku fought with the Maya exhibiting its overwhelming strength. Soon enough, it took the spirit by its throat and devoured it whole. As its power entered the monster's body, it also surged throughout Alto's entire being, filling him with newfound energy. The primary demon in him won, and he now has two sources of strength. The others are stunned by his amazing aura and ask how he's feeling. It isn't a terrible sensation at all, and he feels more control over his abyssal power. While the others received weapons from the void, a physical change took place on his body, and has a dark and razor-sharp blade now extended from his arm. With a quick swipe to try things out, a dark tear appears in the air as if he cut space itself. Something inside clicked, and even those outside the armory felt an odd sensation crawling on their skin. Meanwhile, the unfamiliar intruder also felt it. He wanted to stir trouble while Tyrion's was away, but something more interesting was happening. The new recruits are dragging humanoid and lifeless bodies across the floor. With exasperated faces, they toss the bunch into the trash bin. Karis complains that Mena is forcing them to clean her lab and treating them like slaves. Ever since they picked their weapons, they barely have any more time for their daily essentials. Essentials? Since Tyrius is out, she was left in charge, and they can't even complain about anything. Most of their time has been spent cleaning up, but Alto sheepishly reasons that it might be training for their nausea endurance. Meanwhile, other squad members outside are happily talking about slaying monsters. Hearing this, the three poke their heads out of the laboratory and are envious to see the recruits who joined at the same time as them. They share a moment of silence, looking at the dim room they've been stuck in. With a collective sigh, Kira suggests that they skip their tasks and head out on a mission instead. Although there's slight hesitation, it's true that doing this would slightly broaden their horizon. Getting too brazen and hopeful, the two men start to set off and avoid their task. However, Mina appeared at that moment demanding to know what they were trying to do. If she hadn't come to deliver their uniforms, the recruits would have run away. In the forest, various monsters roamed under the scorching sun. With them, the Taoyu's group of 3 were traveling with cargo. Riding the wagon, they pointed around as it's the first time they went out in a while. They see a huge bull-like creature, which is something they'd never seen before. Liam gets excited as they explain and jots notes down on some paper. The two men have differing approaches, with Alto describing based on what he sees. On the other hand, Carrie scolds his companions, saying they could easily obtain such knowledge by reading books, but is quickly brushed off. The country bumpkin argues against taking notes, barbarically saying that he'd rather taste them. Kira is annoyed, but refusing to join them would leave him stuck working errands in the lab. They were caught by Mena earlier and had to bravely ask for monster-slaying missions. Scolded for dreaming of such things when they haven't even done their job, the trio apologized. Fortunately, she understood the burning passion and grand ambition of young recruits. As such, she raised a quest sheet saying she prepared something. They thought it was finally their chance, but it was just a basic delivery mission. It wasn't what they expected, but it's a new experience to say the least. With this, they traveled across the forest carrying medical supplies to the designated location. The journey didn't stop, and their bodies soon started to finally. Leon grabbed their attention, pointing a few meters ahead. A small town appeared in their line of sight and a flag identifying the Juru city in. Taking a look at the map, they confirmed that there's only a day left until they reach the city of Julu. There's still a lot of time before their deadline, so they decide to relax and stay at the inn for the night. Excited, they hurry their horse over and soon reach the city's establishments. Inside, two men blankly worked an empty-way station, complaining that the city's resources have been missing for days now. The other man is already used to it, saying it's only natural as people are in Chile for the festival. With the trio's arrival, the innkeepers prepare some food before they rest. They are led to the best room in the establishment where they have a view of the city. That said, the inside of the room has a massive layer of dust. Opening the windows, Koz is stunned by the view, and they see a deep orange horizon as the sun sets over the city. The golden light shone on their faces, and it was a beautiful sight to see. Considering how amazed Alto is told that he faint if he saw the city's other side. The know-it-off wants to show off a bit and offers to enlighten him. Years ago, a rampaging demon god shook the ground, raising the city above sea level. Pushing the land to the sky, it created a unique landscape where deserts and glacier coexist. With only one passage in and out, an iconic history and culture was born. However, every year, the Jura demon stirs, heralding spring and the revival of life. During this period, people hold celebrations to honor the beast's blessings and welcome the new year. After it stirs, the landscape changes according to its influence affecting their home for a year. The innkeepers are surprised by his explanation, saying he's really well informed and encouraging them to join the celebrations. For this to happen, they can only hope for their mission to go smoothly. Feeling optimistic, they rest for the day, and night soon comes. The trio is sleeping soundly, but the faint light of the candle suddenly flickered, and the Alto was woken up by an odd breeze. He finds a closed cabinet in the middle of the room. As he approached, it rustled and shook, taking him by surprise. The doors opened slowly and ever so slightly. However, he stumbles upon an odd sight inside and sees a scorpion fighting a spider. The young man reached out wanting to take a closer look, but he failed to notice the presence creeping up from behind. With a roar, the dark figure attacked, and the inn soon echoed with loud banging and crashing. The innkeepers headed up to check on them, bothered by the noise deep into the night. Just then, the wall itself burst open, sending concrete and wood flying. Inside, they see Alto standing against the strange figure. The monster turns its head upon noticing them, making the grown men scream and run in terror, begging for their lives. However, with them gone, the half-demon is glad that he doesn't have to hide anymore. He draws the blade out of his arm, now fully prepared for a fight. He charged in and unleashed a flurry of strikes, all of which were skillfully blocked. As the battle was seemingly ending the stalemate, the others woke up from the commotion and asked what was happening. He warns them against letting their guard down as the enemy was a tough opponent. Meanwhile, back in Neoin's, intruders have made their way into the castle, killing several guards in the process. The dark-haired master stood over the corpses smiling in satisfaction. A follower asks what they were going to do next and is told to take all bodies to someone in the organization's base. He suggests killing the civilians instead to minimize the risk, but the master speaks coyly, saying they didn't do anything and that the massacre was clearly caused by a monster. Roaming around the town, a beast killed and ate countless soldiers, signaling the changing tides of the country. The trio continued their journey, now more cautious since they've revealed their identities. Just then, they see a child turning the corner, begging to be spared. A group of hooded figures were after him, armed and jumping in for the kill. Stumbling over a rock, the poor child fell flat on the ground. One man didn't miss the chance and immediately aimed to stab at his heart. Alto intervened just in time, blocking the blade with his own. Sending each other back, he demands to know why they are being so cruel towards a mere child. The men exchange knowing glances, scanning the area and seeing the other squad members ready to fight. He made the first move, swiping and telling the young recruits to focus on their job instead. This puts them on high alert, questioning how the thugs would know that they were on an official mission. Alto was surrounded and the boy desperately clung to him for safety. Wanting to silence them all, the enemy attacked, but the half-Majiri was too fast and swung his blade at his neck instead. Moving faster than all of them, the rest were dealt with in a flash without even needing help from the others. Realizing that they were outmatched, the injured opponents looked up with ragged breathing and decided to retreat for now. With this, they disappeared in an instant. Turning his attention to the child, Alto asked who he was. The others pile on, asking why he's being targeted and saying he must have gone through a lot. To their surprise, he's unexpectedly hostile and swats their concerned hands away. He shouts at them saying they shouldn't ask questions unless they want to be killed. Watching him run back to where he came from, they consider going after the child, but are unable to leave their delivery items unguarded. As such, they soon reach the city's execution squad's post, delivering all the supplies, the goods are checked, and the mission is officially cleared. Just then, they hear commotion from inside. A man is beaten and punished, told that he can't run from the consequences of his actions. Stepping on his hand, the commanding man demands to know where their young master is. He's already killed most of the Edris family, and now he wants to take over the city itself. He doesn't care for such complaining, fearing nothing at all. Soldiers appear, addressing him as their captain, and are told to force answers out of the man. Following his orders, they dragged the hostage back inside. Meanwhile, the villagers looked on in horror, unable to say anything against the tyrannical captain. As the guards were walking away, Alto noticed a familiar token on their waist. Turning away, he quietly tells the others to follow. Alone in the woods, they suppose that the captain actually sent the men after the child. Morals and the group clash as they consider catching the boy, who will certainly end up being killed. Just then, they hear something rattling and snapping in the bushes. Checking it out, Alto relays that it's just a black cat. He turns away, ignoring the missing child, crouching to keep himself hidden. He sighs in momentary relief, but finds the three looking down and smiling at him. As the boy backed away, they tried to advise him against running away. With a reassuring smile, they insist that they just have a few questions. As such, they first ask who he is and why the captain's men are after him. Struck with fear, the child begged for mercy, wanting to be let go. Just then, they hear the voices of men nearby, obviously still looking for the missing boy. He runs away in fear, but Alto stops him before getting too far. He begs to be released, saying he can't be caught by those chasing after him. The squad member refused to, and the guards slowly inched closer to where they were. With this, the boy resisted and somehow managed to break free. Jumping forward, he placed his hand on the ground, and in that instant, a huge magic circle appeared before them. A blue light shimmered, and to their surprise, they began sinking into the ground. Soon enough, half their bodies were submerged, and they were eventually swallowed completely. Hearing the commotion, the men appeared on site to check what was happening, but found a completely empty space in the forest. As they went on their way, the ones who sunk to the ground suddenly fell onto a cold hard floor. They found themselves in a spacious room, empty but oddly regal looking. Seeing portraits of grown men on the wall, they wondered where they were. Lifting the child up, they calmly demand to be enlightened on the situation. Taking a closer look at the portraits, Leon sees writings on the borders and reads the names of the Edris family patriarchs. They look up at the photos and names, finding them oddly familiar. Finally, the child reveals that it's Jaira, his father, and the former lord of the city. Meanwhile, his Blair, the third heir to their name, who's supposed to inherit his father's title. Their family has served as the city's protector, governing and guarding it for nearly 500 years. Then tragedy took place. 3 months ago, monster riots became frequent and poor decisions led to heavy casualties. As such, the commander was replaced by Chens, the ruthless man they saw, who also managed to quell the rioting beast. In terms of strength, he's undeniably a capable leader, but his morals are less than low. The worst part is that he stumbled on the secret method of stealing the Juru beast power. Soon after, he staged a coup, blaming the monster riots on Juru and killing his family. The rest of the Edges family soon followed, and Blair barely managed to survive after kind servants helped him escape. His story tracks with the experiences they expected him to have. With the explanation finished, the boy started walking away. Alto stopped him saying he still hadn't told them why he was still lingering around. Pointing to the passage up ahead, he says he's going to rescue something trapped ahead. To their surprise, he says it's the Juru beast. Meanwhile, the innkeepers from before report the monster encounter they had. It was as if two beasts were battling and they had no idea where it came from. Chens looks down from his throne and asks if there was anything special that day aside from the monsters. They don't say anything much, but note the 3 squad members who arrived in the city. The initial noise came from their room, so they went up to check, not expecting an actual beast. One guard unscrolls some parchment showing portraits of the 3. They confirm the identity of the visitors, adding that they were the only ones who entered in the past 3 days. Moreover, they were the ones who saved Blair, who they were chasing the other day. Considering the gravity of the situation, Chens orders his men to capture them. Rushing to follow orders, the guards moved immediately, putting the entire city under lockdown just to capture 4 people. Moving with just a few men accompanying him, Chens headed to a secret spot and pulled a book out of a shelf. This opens a trapdoor on the ground, which leads to the Juru beast chambers. They head down to check on their first priority, but are confident as enough protection has been set. Meanwhile, Blair and the others find the beast surrounded by killer bugs. Having found the right spot, the intruders approach. There was a huge monster on the ceiling, but the true jury was behind the door. The boy courageously moved forward, but the squad members are trained and much more cautious with how they dealt with such situations. Seeing them hesitate, Blair asks why they aren't following and wonders if they are doubting him. With an unexpectedly sly smile, he claps, signaling something to move. Upon his command, the killer bugs were suddenly on high alert, looking at them with hostility. With this, the trio realized that they had been played. The swarm charged into attack, and the boy scoffed at them for realizing far too late. Alto faced stared each and every one of the bugs down. He summoned the blades on his arms and leapt in to strike first. He cut several at once, taking them out without any problems. However, the sheer amount keeps him occupied enough for Blair to run away on his own. With them there, he can easily steal the power of Juru. That said, Alto wasn't alone, and his 2 comrades jumped in to fight the arrogant brat. To their surprise, he reacts fast and grips the belt on his waist. He uses it as a whip and sends the 2 flying away with so much force that they crash into the wall far away. The lone clash leaves them heavily injured, and the boy finally reveals that Blair's body is just a host. He took over after being killed. They are no match against him, who ruled over the city exterminating demons for 50 years. Hearing this, they realize that is Gyro, who's taken over his son. He has no qualms against it, saying he has full ownership over his child's body. Crossing the passage, he leaves them to deal with the monster on the ceiling. Alto tells the 2 to go after the enemy, while he stays behind to take the monster down. With the 2 gone, he attacks with full force, sending a couple of slashes at the beast. However, it basically bounces off its tough skin. He worries as there isn't even a scratch from his demonic blades. Dodging another attack, the young man wonders if he should somehow lure it to the next room. Looking at the doorway, he thinks of ways to make his plans happen. He jumps around trying to stay alive despite it all. Meanwhile, Chens appears with his men who are surprised to see the demons. They correctly deduce that Gyroscope must be using it to stall the squad members. As Alta made a break for it, nearing the doorway, the commander suddenly leapt after him. He reached out with his whip, which latched onto the young man's body and pulled him back to the ground. The 2 parties faced each other, and rage bubbled inside the half-demon's body. Taking the chance from the distraction, the monster attacked, but the previously impenetrable skin was suddenly torn in half. With a brand new demonic form for his arm, Alto killed the beast in one shot. He looked back at the captain with sinister eyes, asking if he really wanted to be his enemy. Still stuck in the room, they try to hurry and end things as the second Edris nears the jury beast. As if on cue, the demon on the other side roared, humming with power. The time constraints continue to pressure them, but Alto says he has squad mates on that side and that he'll be joining them shortly. Alto keeps the beast away with one arm. Holding it tight, he slams it on the ground. Jarius is incredulous, demanding to know how he broke the force field. Standing tall and proud, the young man says is far too full of himself. The beast gets back up as if not sustaining any damage. He wonders what he can do to move away from the stalemate. The moment he was bitten earlier, all the abilities he devoured before suddenly burst forth. Closing his eyes, he tries to focus and feel the enemy from the inside. Gripping tight, he remembers feeling power surge throughout his fingertips. Realizing something, he decides to get everyone out first as he can't tackle this alone. Just then, the beast charged an attack and shot powerful bursts of energy at them. Alto faced it head-on, and the blast nearly wrecked the entire underground area. Running around, the beast soon disappeared in the smoke from its attack. Later on, the ground shook on the surface, and everyone is shocked as the Juru beast suddenly emerged from the earth. Acknowledging the powerful enemy, some stayed to stall for time, while some ran to warn others. However, they don't stand a chance against the demon, which easily plowed through their ranks. It's ridiculous for them to think that mere human flesh would somehow stop a rampaging god. Alto appeared again, questioning his claim to be a god and smiling as he likened him to a pile of scraps instead. Insulted, Jairu argues that he also stole the power of demons, so he has no right to judge.